to receive the at the end. So that's what we are going to do. Um, it's always a pleasure having you guys. Today we are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which is fine. So one person it's not present. I mean, three persons are not present. So all right. Let me know when you see my screen. Yes, I'm sure you can see my screen now. So this is what we're looking at today. And it's all about practice. It's practice make perfect. Like we said early on, before each lesson you receive something to read on. And these lectures are it's really I'm following what we call the Cochrane Handbook. It's Cochrane, they are the founders of systematic reviews. And so for me, it's the best place to learn how to do systematic reviews. So all what I'm doing is really I have gone through their courses severally. I have applied them and I'm just simplifying things to you. You understand? But if there's anything that is unclear to you, you can, if you go to the cook, if you click here, you just see the resources. They are all open source. You can also study them. So I mean, we always have the quiz, right? And for me, the quiz is a fun thing, just because I want to see those who read the pre-reads that I send, and also those who follow instructions. So this week was very interesting because most things were just about writing, and you guys are going to see why I am very particular about pay attention to everything you write. It's also very important in systematic reviews because that is it's going to change if you get the good papers or you get the bad papers or you don't get any papers at all. So all the questions that were frequently missed were probably the ones that people needed to type something. So that goes again. It shows that in all the quizzes, I'll probably stop MCQs and just put only type, fill in the blank space questions so that people get to think and not only write appropriately. So um that's it. Let's move on to the first question, Pico framework. So again, yeah, the only thing that I want you guys to pay attention to is, is that um is that mm, oh okay, why are you disturbing? It's not- The only thing I want you guys to pay attention to here is that you need to know how you're writing, right? How are you writing? So this is part of a sentence. I don't expect the population to start with a capital P. I mean, population is correct, but this is the correct answer. It's population in small letters because it's part of a sentence. So you you have to be very, I mean, the question is very simple, but you have to be very careful. That's just it. And if you don't put it right, the computer will not see it and your answer will be wrong. And it's the same thing when we will do searches. So here's the next one. Same thing in Medline, that mesh is known as. So the correct answer is mesh. This is it. And it was in the lecture. So this is if you type if you type mesh with a capital, all in capital letters, and you type booleans, booleans is not the correct answer, but I mean that's what we are doing. So guys, pay attention to instructions. That's all what I would say. Pay attention to spellings, pay attention to what you write. I mean, it just shows that this person did not read the document. That's just what it shows. But the six of you took the quiz out of 8. So it also shows that you guys understood the question. But again, whoever made that mistake, please next time pay attention to things. And the next is this was where I was very happy. So the correct answer it's actually reproduce, which is with small letters, this one. So I mean I could take replicate, but The only answer I gave was reproduce. And what is most important for all of you here to note, it's again that if you type the replicate with a capital letter, it's a different variable. The computer does not see it as the same thing. So, guys, and again, it's in a sentence, right? So you want to allow us replicate, to allow us reproduce. You want to suit that context. It has to be in small letters, lowercase. So again, you see that some things are rejected not because the content is wrong, but how it's presented. This is how journals would reject your manuscript just because you did not pay attention to commas, to spaces, and all of that. So it's very important, guys. Please. That's why I'm taking my time to trap you guys with this to see it's important. Same thing here. The correct answer is sensitivity. So these two are correct, but the fact that this is a capital letter is a problem. I rest my case on that one. I've said the point a lot. And the last one, it's the press guidelines. It supports that you have an experienced dash or search specialist. So the correct answer here is librarian. I mean, and it has to be a librarian is a proper noun, so it's somebody's name. So you want to put it in capital letters. So that is where now people you need to think, how do you write it? Information specialist has its space, but it's not the person who helps in systematic reviews are always librarians. So that said, guys, the quiz was very simple, and the goal was just to get you guys to know how to write, because when you start doing search, it's going to be important to know how to write. Good. So that said, are we together? Hello? If you can hear me, just put a thumbs up, drop the chat, a text in the chat. I'll only see it.
Yes, Doctor, can hear you.
Yeah, good. Yes, Afai, the test was simple. It was just tricky. Joseph, I'm sorry. The system probably did not like you. That's why you wrote in small letters and it still failed you. But yeah, let's make progress. So we see our course has a design, a standard design, right? We have pre pre-course work, we have a session like this, and then we have tasks at the end. So that's how we are learning. And for me, it's just so much that you get to apply all that you're learning. Otherwise, go and attend your university lectures, you forget about it the next day. So this is where we are today. We are talking about search and screening. So guys, you see, we are making progress. So at this point, I expect that you're taking time expect that you're taking time to to fine tune your idea so that when you start writing your proposal, it's going to go faster. But this is where we are talking today, and you're going to need this knowledge. Like this class is very important. This is the one of the most important things about doing a systematic review because it's like data collection. If you miss it, garbage in, garbage out, you're not going to have a good result. So that's where we are, and we will keep making progress until the end. So I like showing this chart so that you guys see where we are going and how we're moving. So for today, guys, I'm going to teach you how to search databases, how to identify high quality databases, how to balance between more papers and specific papers for sensitivity and precision, and then document your searches, and then how to use reference managers, and then when to ask help. Generally, you ask help from us, your mentors, because we don't have a librarian in our team, but we are leveraging on the experience of us, myself, and the other mentors who have been doing this for quite some time. That said, our activities for today is you have a very short lecture, which is ongoing, and then I would show you guys how to search on PubMed. So if somebody has an idea, a topic that they want me to try during the demo, please drop it in the chat already. I'll look into the chat when we get to there and I'll pick any of the topics and then we'll use it. I always like doing it from scratch so that we learn together. We try it and you see how the process is. And then after that, you will have a session of 20 minutes, I think. Now that neither we're 10 minutes behind time, we'll see how many minutes I'll give you guys to try to draft an idea on your topic. If you don't have a topic, please go to the list of questions that I sent and pick one and apply it and do it on PubMed. And then once you guys are done, we'll have a peer review session that you guys are going to critique each other. Depending on the number of you, we'll see if we have to split you guys into breakout rooms or we'll do it in the common room. Yeah. And then I'll show you guys how to use Zotero in particular. So it's a reference manager because when you download the data set, when you download the papers, you need to put them in a reference manager to help you deduplicate and then organize your folders. And then we end. That's the plan for today. So again, if you have a question that you like already, please put it in the chat section. And then let's make progress. Somebody has sent a very long list. Okay, I see you. Okay. The most important, like I said, this session is very important to all of us as researchers because um, the quality of your search will give the quality of your results. So for me, it's very important that all of us have this in the back of our minds. The quality of your search will give the quality of your results. So if you collect garbage, you're going to have garbage results. That's what's most important, guys. Now, if there are so many missed studies in your work, it will make your conclusions to be biased. That's why we are taking this time to learn how to carry out a sensitive but yet precise search. That's why we are doing this session. And it's very important to know how to document, to carry out search because you will report this and it makes the after your work can be redone by another person. And that is it's based on how well you report your work that journals are going to want to publish your work. So for me, that's why this session it's like the most one of the most important sessions because after this you'll be working with what you extracted. So if you don't get good papers, if you don't get balanced papers, then your work is going to definitely be of low quality or will be biased or your methods will be critiqued. And if your methods are not credible, your research cannot be publishable. And that is not what we want here. All of you will have to have a publishable manuscript by the end of your course. So that's our objective. Now, let's talk about databases. I've listed the most common ones that we use in systematic reviews. So again, like we said in the beginning, systematic reviews is a study of studies. So it's research on research. Okay. And so your unit of measurement here is the research papers and not just people that were involved in research, but the research papers. And what's most important is you need to get to databases that will give you access to the research papers on your topic that you need. The common one, since we are all in healthcare, PubMed, Medline, you will get most of the papers. And then you have Embase, which complements it. And then we have Cochrane Library, which is like the oldest systematic review database, and they are very good for clinical trials. So if you really want to work only with clinical trials, then I mean, search the Cochrane Library and download their access. And this CNA is a nursing database. So if you're interested in research that is around nursing sciences, then this should be a database that you should search. Now, Web of Science and Scopus are bigger databases that take more of basic sciences and hard sciences. So if you are into engineering, in health, if you're looking into biomedicine, those really basic sciences, then these are databases that you should include. Now, African Index Medicus is for us Africans, right? It's created for us Africans so that you can also access mainly papers that originate from Africa. So definitely all of you in your work, you're going to search African Index Medicus. I think I'm going to try to highlight how to use it as well. That's it. So all of you guys are going to try to search this as well. So generally in your systematic reviews, you need at least two databases, at best three. If you do your search on the third one and you don't have so many papers, then maybe you want to extend, you want to adjust your search strategy, or you want to add a full database. But above three, it does not really change much. This is just my personal judgment. I don't have any articles suggesting that, but three is fine. Your article will be publishable if you do three databases. So now that's databases. So what I want you guys to pay attention to is that databases are peer reviewed knowledge, right? This is knowledge that has been gone through the publication journey, like all of you guys are going to go through at the end of this course. But now, not all studies are published. For instance, if you go to the University of Yaoundé, you would see thesis since Qs was created before it became FMBS and the rest. If you come to Boya, you see the same thing. If you go to Bamenda, you see the same thing. If you go to Douala, you see the same thing. These theses are not published. Unfortunately, our universities don't have online repositories, so they just stay in the library. You can go and read it and come back and write what you write. But there are registries that you can search for gray literature. So, for instance, clinical trial registry. So, if you go to clinicaltrials.gov, you're going to see most of the registered clinical trials that are ongoing. If they are not completed, we are waiting for the results. But if you want to report on the clinical trials on your topic, fine and good, you can look at those. Okay. Thesis, like I said, NGO reports. So commonly for us in Africa, you see that most things are done by NGOs and they cannot publish it on on official peer review journals. So what they do is that they write their white papers, and there you have to read it from their web pages and the rest. And same thing, Sintieh has his own now, and all of those things. So those are common sources where we can look for data. So for people that will be doing a scoping review and not a systematic review, or even a systematic review, I want to include good literature, you want to pay attention to this. The slide when I'll send to you, you will have links to most of these sources so that you can just click on it and go to the web pages and on your laptop and look at it. That's it. Does anyone have a question on this slide? We've spoken about databases. Hello, hello, hello.
All right, Doc. I wish to ask a question. Does your Why writing your systematic review? You said that at least we were expected to use at least three graphic databases. Now I wish to ask, is there also a limited number of real literatures sources that we're expected to search on, or we can limit ourselves just with the three bibliographic database? That's my question.
Yeah, thank you very much. Let me make that point very clear. It's not a must that you must include gray literature. Okay, gray literature is mostly for people who are studying an emerging topic. So it's not a must that you must include gray literature. I hope we are clear on that point, right?
Okay, all right.
Cool. Nice. Nice. So next,
Doctor, please, I want to know, is
Mhm.
gray literature considered, how will I say, is it considered credible, given that it's the work of students and NGOs? Is it really reviewed?
um, that's why it's not in published databases, right? But what's most important for you to note is that if you're talking about a topic that is emerging, okay, for instance, I did a scoping review on the use of mobile and digital health things for people with cardiovascular diseases in Africa. And that's a very new topic. You will not find published clinical trials. And so for you to do that, you need to include every other thing that you would see. So then you have to include gray literature. But if you are talking on a topic that is you already have you have your clear PICO and you want to work on it, then you don't need gray literature. Gray literature, again, I would say it's for people who are working on an emerging topic. All right.
Okay, doctor. Thank you very much.
Mhm. So again, this is theoretical, but we are going to do a demo very soon. Um, but what I want you guys to pay attention to is that for every question you have, when you pick your question, first thing you need to do is break that question into concept boxes, 3, 4, 5, depending on how many they are. And then you apply those concepts into Pico. We did this in lecture number 2. When you apply this to Pico, the next thing I expect you now to do is for each of those concepts, population, intervention or exposure, comparator, or the outcome, populate as many synonyms on those keywords. We're going to look at it shortly. And then those synonyms are then combined with or. Okay, you combine the synonyms with or, right? And then between the concepts now, you are going to link the concepts with an and. So that's what gives us your search string in a database. I'm going to show you guys how we'll go about it. And for those who have gone through the sample proposal I uploaded in your timetable, you would see how I did I built the search strategy there. So that's how it's done. I'm going to walk you through it. No panic. So generally, what's most important in search is that you need to really describe what you are searching for. And by saying that you're describing what you're searching for, it's seen in how you go about the search. Okay, guys? So that's what's most important on this slide. Now, when you have taken those boxes of synonyms, now the synonyms are already keywords. So the synonyms will make the keywords that you have. And then you need to definitely want to make sure that you think of how, so you are going to put your head in the mind of another researcher. If somebody is researching on TB, how would he write TB? Is TB? Yeah, sure. Tuberculosis, sure. Or what are other synonyms of tuberculosis? So you think of them, right? That's how you do it. And then next, we ask ourselves, right? All of us are going to be searching medical databases. So these databases have what we call subject headings, which are specific headings that group core topics in particular orders. So you're going to ask yourself, okay, how does PubMed document TB? And so we're going to find that, and I'm going to show you how to do it. Now, once you've identified these two things, you're going to put the blocks together. See, that's why there's a plus here. You're going to put the blocks together, and that's what gives us a search for a particular concept. So let's say concept 1 was drinking water. So we're going to look for synonyms of drinking water plus the merge terms for drinking water to complete the search bracket of drinking water. Do you guys understand me?
No, doctor, no.
It's okay. We're going to just allow me to go a little bit. Anyways, let me pause here. Did anybody drop a topic? So what I'm going to do is that we're going to do, I think if I do slide and demo, it's going to be clearer, right? Slide and demo. So I'll do slide and demo. So we'll start from this concept, from this concept, how to break things into concept box. So I'm going to stop my slide here. I'm going to quickly look for who has sent a question. And then I'm going to search. Let me know when you can see my other screen. I'm looking for the chat. So I've seen 2 questions. I'm going to copy both 2 questions and then we'll work with one. And then in the other thing, we'll work with the other one. Jesus Christ. Zoom is not allowing me to copy your questions for some reason. Darren and Joseph, can you guys send me your questions on WhatsApp ASAP?
Okay, doctor.
Yes, on WhatsApp. but I'm sharing my screen and I'm going to try to type as soon as possible. All right. Now, can you guys see my screen? I'm going to zoom in so that it's clear for everyone. All right. So the first thing, right, what we've just seen is that the first step is really building concept blocks. That's the first step in search, building concept blocks. And by concept block, I mean that we're going to break down a particular topic into core concepts in that topic. So I have received this question and it's coming straight up. So the question goes, among patients with acute coronary syndrome, so patients with acute coronary syndrome in Cameroon is our population of interest, right? I'm sure that we already mastered this point now. And does delay in presentation compared to early presentation increase hospital complications? So I can see my outcome here, which is complications or mortality, which is a good one. You're not limiting yourself to what you're going to find. And I know that these two are the same side, two sides of the same coin, right? I'm using color coding so that it's very clear for everyone to see how we are thinking. So now we have a population which is patients living with acute coronary syndrome. And then we have a delay, those who present greater than 12 hours. And my main question is, why do you have that delay there? Okay, how did you select 12 hours? So that will be my question already. So whoever has this question. And then the next is the comparator presentation within 12 hours. Already, again, we are going to use it, but I'm going to ask many questions when I meet this person in the consultation. So prepare yourself. Now, and then the last one is then our outcome, which is red. So, guys, now we have identified concepts by using the PICO, right? And I'm going to group them into three concepts. So the population concept is the first one. So guys, concept one. And then all of these I and C, I'll use them as concept two because I can put them in one box confidently. And same. So the next thing I'm going to ask you guys is feel free to, and then we have concept three. Sorry, forgive me. So this is what we have. Now that we have identified our topic, so we're going to work with concept one. Okay, we're going to work with concept one now. So can you guys give me what will be the keywords from concept one? What are the keywords from concept one? People living or people diagnosed with acute coronary syndrome. Feel free to unmute and tell me. Hello, hello, hello. Yeah, acute coronary syndrome is the obvious one. Yeah. Next.
Myocardial infarction.
Good. MI. What next? We'll correct the spelling errors later. What next?
Cameroon.
Very good one. Thank you, Cameroon. Yes, what next? Good. So we're going to end here. Um,
What about
Diagnosis.
this?
Okay, let's
Yeah.
use diagnosis. It's okay. I'm not. there's no right or wrong answer. We're exploring this topic together. So we are going to work with, so this is concept one now. Good. So now the next job you have is that what are synonyms of those four words that we have in concept one? Can people give me other ways that we would say acute coronary syndrome? So I'll just use ACS as a simple one. MI is a short form. Cameroon CMR, some people might abbreviate it like that. Diagnosis DX. So now give me synonyms. I've used the acronyms, but I need synonyms. What's another name for acute coronary syndrome? What's another name for myocardial infarction? So I am thinking there'll be a heart attack somewhere. I'm thinking
Maybe STEMIA, non-STEMIA.
somebody will write ST, yes. And somebody will write N STEMI, yes. Uh, good. Somebody will write Cameroon with a U. All right. The list can be endless. We're going to end there, right? So we have done the keywords and the synonyms, right? So all of this falls under what we are looking for. Now let's go to concept two. Who can already give me the keywords for concept two? Concept two, we have delay, right? Delay is a keyword. Time to
We have time,
Greater than 12
greater than 12 hours. That's very niche. I'll not use it, but I'll use hospital presentation. I I know why I don't want to use the time there because time is very
I was
niche.
about to ask that question, doctor.
Yes, ask your question. Go for it.
It was the time. Why would you not put time?
I'm going to explain to you shortly. Just remind me. Let's just
Okay.
continue. Yes. Keep that question. Keep it. It's a very nice question, but I'll show you guys. It's somewhere in a slide down. Uh possible synonyms. Possible synonyms. This is very difficult. I'm going to leave it open. When you guys
Late,
uh,
late, or delay.
yes, late, yes. Time to treatment. Yes. Somebody will say in hospital, right? Somebody will say hospital.
consultation.
Come again.
Consultation.
Consultation. Yes, consult. Oh, guys, I like this particular part of systematic reviews because this is where you use some of your intelligence. So let's move to concept three. I'm going to color code it later. Who wants to give me keywords from concept three? Lydia, I'm not hearing your voice. Lydia, Kelly,
Concept 3, mortality.
good. What's another? Yeah, mortality, complications. That's very simple.
Complications. Then there's
Synonyms,
Death.
adverse outcomes, is complications, no? Death. Good. So we're going to end here. I like what we have done so far. I'm going to color code.
outcome.
Yeah, I wrote outcomes. I wrote adverse outcomes. Can you see my screen?
Yes,
So,
doctor.
yeah, so concept one is green. Da, 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 shade of green. Concept two is, I think it was blue, no? So take blue. And then concept three is red. Good. All right, guys. So this is what I was talking in that slide. So this is how you start your question. You break it down to concepts. So now we are working from concepts and we're going to then build our search. I'm doing this so that we have it on a clear page. So we have 3 concepts, 1, 2, 3. So we're going to build our search from here. Now on the other slides, let me switch views so that you guys can see what I'm talking about. On this others, on your slide now, right? Can you guys see the PowerPoint? So now that we have our concepts, right? Can everyone see the PowerPoint, guys? Yeah, okay, I see thumbs up. Now that we have our concepts, it's not enough. So we are going to now build keywords for each of these concepts, right? And also medical subject headings for each of these concepts. And then for each concept, we are going to merge both to build our search strategy for that concept. That's it. That's what we are going to. Is this point clear now?
It is, doctor, it is.
Good. So, now, one thing that is clear is that here already we have keywords, and all we need to do is to maximize on the number of synonyms that we have. Okay. And the next thing I'm going to look for now is medical subject headings for this. So I'm just going to copy and paste them because these are very good headings. These ones. But so this is what I know that are medical subject headings. This could stand as medical subject headings. But we are going to double check how each database, what's most important is how does PubMed, how does Embase, how does this save these things that we have identified, these keywords that were identified as medical subject headings. Okay, so we are going to see that shortly when we come to the manuscript. So I'm going to also put mesh for concept 2. I'm just going to pick a few of them. I'm just going to take time to, let's say, I'll just take these 3. It's okay. We're going to go to the demo soon. Nice. And then same thing now, we come to mesh for concept 3. So I'm just going to take complications and mortality. Are we together? So these are, if we look at it now, we have the 2 things that we're looking for each concept, the keywords, synonyms of the keywords, and then the medical subject headings. Now, the medical subject headings are not final. We are going to check how the database that we are going to use writes that particular pathology in its database. That's what we are going to check. And I'm going to show you guys how to see. Is this clear? Hello, hello, hello. Good. So now, what's next on our agenda? Once we have identified all of these things, the next thing you and I, as good researchers that we are, need to do is that we are going to now carry out our search on a particular database that we like. But to carry out that search, we need to use what we call Boolean operators. If you remember 2 slides back, we said we are going to use OR for synonyms, right? Are you guys really seeing how this is coming together? So everything that said acute coronary syndrome, myocardial infarction, all of those, we are going to separate those words by OR because it's going to increase the sensitivity of our search. And then now between concepts, we have to intersect the concepts. So we are going to bring in an and. So myocardial infarction and time to arrival at the hospital. Are we together? And then, if you are very careful, if you are looking for a niche topic, a very niche topic, that's when you use not. But generally, I never use not. Like, for instance, we want to look for only studies in Cameroon. So we'd say, we'll put Cameroon in our and then we'll say not America, not Europe, not this, not that, not you can put it, but use it very sparingly because it can make you miss relevant studies. So generally, we don't advise people to use not. Is that clear? So Boolean operators in a nutshell is what we'll refer to as our search operators. That's how we are going to take the keywords and the mesh terms into the database. Is this point clear? So now, let's go back to our form. Let's go back to our form and let's put in the Boolean operators, right? So already we're going to I'm simply going to put an or here in between all of these words. Capital letter or, skip, capital letter or, capital letter or, jeez. Let's see why. Oh. Who can volunteer to be co-host so that those who are dropping in and out they can add them so that it doesn't interrupt me. Who has stable internet? Lisa, do you have stable internet?
For now, doctor.
Yeah, it's okay. So you see what I'm doing? I'm putting an or in between all of these spaces, in between the synonyms. Same thing here. So same thing here. I do that, and then again an or in between the keywords and the mesh terms. So all right, guys, you get the point, right? So or is a real man. Good. I'm going to end there. But I think the differentiation is clear. Then I come down as well. But between now concept 1 and 2, what am I going to write there? Hello, 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 hello.
And
Good. That's what I do.
And
I need to intersect them. Exactly. And then it continues. We do our or. So I'm not going to continue this. You guys have gotten the point, right? Let me
yes,
just do
doctor.
for people who are sleeping. But yeah, that's the point. That's actually the point that we are trying to make. Now, this said already, I am very clear on what I am going to search. Everybody that sees this will understand what this crazy fellow is trying to do. Okay. So that's it, right? So we are done. Now, what is left from here is just that we need to take it now into a database and try it out. Are we together? So we are going to have something like this. Concept 1 and concept 2 and concept 3. That's what we're going to have. And then all the synonyms under the concepts are going to be us. And we are good. Our search strategy has been designed. Now let's go back to our slides. So this is what we've just shown, right? This is what we've just shown. So now there are many other operators that we can use. Okay, there are many other operators that we can use to make our search nice. And I'm going to just show you guys shortly. So there's what we call truncation. And in databases, you put an asterisk or a dollar sign. It varies, but asterisk is a common one. So it means that every other thing to the end of it. So if I put sin asterisk, it's going to capture teen, it's going to capture teens, it's going to capture teenager. And for phrase searching, you can definitely make sure that you put the phrase in inverted commas. That's the only thing that you want to do. And then we have what we call adjacent and proximity operators. This is advanced. This is definitely going to be a homework for you guys, but I'm going to explain what it looks like. Let's go back to our document. So you see that I'm going to copy only concept one, and we're going to show what I mean by you see that we have acute coronary syndrome. So I'm going to talk about using star. So instead of me typing syndrome, I can say acute coronary star. So what does that do? It's going to capture syndromes with an syndrome with an E, syndromes, okay, and any other thing that you can think of. Now, same thing, myocardial infarction. I will not put infarction, I'll put star. And it's going to capture infarction, infractions, whatever way you want to write it. Again, instead of me having Cameroon and Cameroon, I can come here and say, I'll put Camer star. So it's going to capture both Cameroon and Camer that. So that is what the star operator do. That's what we call truncation. So you write the words in a short way with a star to it, and then it helps you do that. That's truncation. Now, the phrase searching is very clear. I want acute coronary syndrome as a phrase. So I'm going to put all of that into inverted commas. So it's going to search for acute coronary syndromes. You see how it's becoming beautiful. Hello, guys. Are we together? So it's going to capture syndromes. And same thing, myocardial infarction is a phrase. So I'm going to put it again in inverted commas. Now, who can note something here between acute coronary syndrome and myocardial infarction and CAME, as well as diagnosis? So even for diagnosis, I can just come and put diag star. And it's going to get me diagnosis with an E or whatever. But I want you guys to look at this line of keywords only and tell me what is different between how I wrote acute coronary syndrome, myocardial infarction, CAME, and diagnose. The trick is within the first letter of each of those phrases.
Grammar is in capital letters. It starts with a capital letter.
Okay, thank you for catching that. What do you think is going to happen? What do you think is going to happen? It's obvious, right? We would miss most of things that have to do with CAME. Because the databases by default read things that are in small letters, lowercase. That's why in your quiz, I make sure that I stress you people with typing, because it's very important in data search. Are we clear? So this is what we are going to do for all the concepts. So have you guys seen what truncation? So we have done truncation. We have done phrase searching. Have you guys seen what it is? Now, adjacent. Adjacent, right, says that for some databases, so this doesn't work in all the databases. It's good that we know for some databases where possible. That's why even in the slide is there where possible. So I want to talk about, let's say, myocardial infarction. Now, with adjacent, right? Oh, no, I'll not use myocardial, I'll use acute coronary syndrome. You see, autocorrect is helping to capitalize my things with it doesn't understand that I need to write things in small letter because I'm doing a systematic review. But now, instead of me writing this and putting it in phrase, I would say in the database that search for Coro star adjacent /1. So what this thing mean here, right? I've combined two things. I did not write coronary, so I use Coro because I know that people can type whatever they mean. But it's going to search for all papers that have a word next adjacent to one word within coronary. And then I can now say that one word within coronary should be, in fact, star or acute, and I close the bracket. So this is advanced, but it captures more papers than what the other things we do. But the more you do it, you get used to it. But this me just flexing and show you guys what you can do with the search, the various search approaches that we have. Have we understood how to search databases? Do we understand the
Yeah,
foundation?
doctor, understood for me.
Doc,
Now,
please come again with the adjacent, please.
so I'm going to ask one silly question. What does adjacent mean?
By the side.
Good, next to, right? Next to. So what it simply means is that your word of interest, you are saying that my word of interest is coronary infarction, coronary, and I'm looking that you don't just pick the word alone, you should pick it and the words next to it should either be infarction or acute. So it captures this and this. So in every instance that any instance that the machine sees coronary, it's going to see if there's infarction or this one. So it will be coronary infarction. If it does not have acute, it's going to capture it. It will be acute coronary. If it does not have infarction, it will capture it. If I change this to and, what will happen? Let me test those who have understood.
It's going to look for articles which have adjacent to coronary infection and at the same time acute.
Exactly. Nets. So, guys, that's just it. So, you see, now we are no more speaking English. No, we are speaking English in the language of the databases. You get the point? This is the main thing you need to know about doing a good search about in systematic reviews. If you understand this, you will never make a
Man,
mistake.
another question, please.
Go for it.
Why have you choose adjacent/1? Why is the number one?
Eh,
Why not?
who can answer the question?
Is it
Why
because of
not?
the concept? Because of the first concept? Oh, I don't know.
No. It's because of the word you are looking for. Let's take, for instance, which word, which? So acute coronary syndrome is 3 words, no?
Yeah.
So if I put adjacent to, it's going to take
Yeah.
coronary and look 2 words further and 2 words behind. You get the point?
All
So I'm
right.
trying to stick to
Oh,
one.
all right.
You get the point? Yes. As well as another person will say, there's another way to write this. Let me show you another way to write this because it's reading forward. So I can write acute, uh, spell my spelling, acute, adjacent, /2. So it's going to look, this particular command is going to look for all articles that have acute and capture the next 2 words. Now, if I say the next 2 words are malaria, fever, it's going to capture all articles that have malaria, fever, 2 steps next to acute, forward and backward.
All right. Understood. Thank you.
Good. Oh, you can think of another word that has 3, all of those things. So that's how you complicate it. But again, this does not work in all databases. So you need to check if your databases have adjacent operators. But again, this is a nice to have. This is like advanced. You can do everything. Most systematic reviews are done with and or, and then this strong truncation. Are we good? Yes, yes, Prof. Yes, Prof. Afayi. Go on.
Doctor, concerning the capital letter, I wanted to know, does it apply only when you do the translation or generally databases will read articles, will read your source command only if there is small letter?
Are we clear, sir? Never write in capital letters. The database will miss it. You miss a lot. So always write in lower cases. So
Okay,
if you write Cameroon like this, we know that it's not correct, Google. We know that it's not correct. They write it like that because that's the way the databases have been formatted. If you write Cameroon like this, and you write it like this, those are 3 different variables that the database engine will be looking for. 3 different variables. We saw it in your quiz now. You go reproduce one capital arrow, is stood separate. The one with small arrow reproduce had its own column. It's the same thing. That's how the databases read. Somebody says it's programming. Guys, this is programming 0001 because it's way far from programming 101. All right, let's make progress, guys. But is it clear?
Yes, doctor, it was actually interesting.
Nice. Good. So we've understood this slide practice. So I think, yeah, the most important thing was to move from the slide to the demo. Yeah. So now somebody asks, why not include time in the question? This is where time comes in. You need to strike a balance between sensitivity and specificity of your test. So the question is, how do you think? Do you want to get only specific articles for a niche topic, or do you want to get the best articles possible for that area of knowledge? So if I say time between 12 hours and less than 12 hours, I might not return with any article because very few people would have published studies with that cutoff. But if I say time to diagnosis, I leave it open. It's going to get me all the articles that talk about time to diagnosis. And then when I'm doing my analysis, if I have enough papers talking about time to diagnosis, I can do my meta-analysis and then divide it because I have continuous time, but I can divide it now at that time and say, okay, we had time coming ranges from 0 to 10 days. So let's divide it to 1 week or to 5 days and see if we can compare the groups of people that are appearing. So generally, you don't put those things when you're thinking of your question. you just keep it open. And then you do a post hoc analysis. So the question will be, does time to arrival, so if I'm going to change that question that was shared, the question will be, does time to arrival affect patient outcome for those who present in the emergency with acute coronary syndrome, or for those hospitalized with acute coronary syndrome? Time to arrival. And this is how they did it, and they got us the 6-hour window for testicular torsion, the 6-hour the 2.5-hour window for recombinant therapy for people with ischemic stroke, the 24-hour window for what's that 24-hour window? 24-hour window for med school exams. You guys know these things, no? So that's how they did the research. It was time to arrival, time to treatment, time to discharge, time to death. That's how they do it. And again, if you're doing a systematic review, you want to keep it open. You want to put a trade-off between, do I want more hits? If I have more papers, then there's more screening, there's more work, but it's okay. But if you limit it so much, it becomes so precise that we miss it. But the only strategy you can limit is when we come now to where we are doing the search that I've just shown you guys. We can be very specific on the words that you are looking for. Then it's improving the precision for the words you are looking for. I want to find acute coronary syndrome. Marks on it. So you're going to get as many papers around the topic, but your topic is sensitive enough and still precise. Have I answered your question? Those were asking about time.
Yes, doctor, perfectly.
So again, it's always, we need to always avoid some things. So I would tell you, when you're doing your systematic review, we can limit language English. Then we simply say we are okay that we have a limitation because of language. If those of us who are very fluent in French, we can limit the language to English and French, and we search for papers in English and French, but that is much more work because you need to read in French and then convert it all in one manuscript in English, or in one manuscript in French if you are targeting a French journal, for instance. But again, generally we limit it to one language or two. You cannot do three, you will die. I'm sorry, but it's a lot of work. Or you need a bigger team of people who are fluent in all of those languages. And then I always say that don't limit by dates. You want to see everything that has been done since the databases were created. That's all. Now, this is very important. This second bullet, avoid free full text filters only. That's why our text uses both the keywords and then the merge terms, so that it increases the sensitivity of the topic that we're doing. And the last one is use validated study filters only when appropriate. So I'm going to share with you guys some filters for like sub-Saharan Africa. Those ones people have done research on and say, okay, these are the best filters to use on every database, right? I'm going to share those ones with you. Digital health, mobile health, they have key ones. So that one, you just need to copy the filter and put in your search database and you're good to go. All right, guys. So any question on biases? Any question? So we are going to do a quick demo, and I'm happy that we went through the search already. So I'm just going to copy and paste the things that we did, and then you guys will see how we work it through. So we are going to use the core concepts. It might not be accurate, but the idea is just that you see how how you should do it properly. I mean, we listed just a few number of synonyms, but that's what we're going to do. So we're going to use those three concepts. We've done this already. We're going to check the merge terms if what we did is what PubMed is using. And then we're going to do these ones. Okay. So guys, generally, when you do this, you run the search first, you see how many articles you have, and then you see if you're capturing good articles, and then you see what you can refine. But that's how we do, that's how it's an iterative process. There's no right or wrong answer. You just need to get the best search for your work. Mm. Mm. La, 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 la. Can you guys see my screen? So this is PubMed. How can I merge these two screens? Thank you. Good. Can you guys see that my screen is merged now? So on this side, we have PubMed, right? On this side, we have the document we've been working on. So what I'm just going to do is, it's just going to be able to allow me, do my thing, boy. It's going to allow me do my thing. Yes. And then, so this is what we've been working on, guys. So generally, when you open PubMed, let me go back. When you search for PubMed, you might arrive on a database like this. This is how it is. This is my personal account, so let me just go back to Google so that you guys don't say that I just came here and showed you guys something helpful. Why do you want to access my location now? No, guys. Okay. So I'm going to search for PubMed. I'm doing it as if it's my first time. And then, so this is how it usually appears, right? And for systematic reviews, by default, I'm going to encourage you guys to use the advanced search mode. Now, we have a query box here. Okay, I'm just going to describe. We have a query box and you have fields. So the first thing to note is that you don't just search all fields. When you start your search, you're going to scroll down and you're going to look for title and abstract. This one. That's what you look for. So that is what you use to search keywords. Okay. So as a start, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this. Because I know that these keywords will work, I'm just going to copy them and revise them. But let me do it 101. So I'm going to copy pulmonary syndrome. I'm going to paste it. I'm going to add. You see, it shows that, right? I'm going to copy myocardial infarction. I'm going to paste it. I'm going to add, but you see here you have and, so but I don't want and. I have to put all, so I put to add with all. So you see, it has put them there. I'm going to copy, I'm going to leave Camel out. And then I might come and copy ACS. I'm going to paste it. I'm going to add with all. MI. I'm going to add with all. Heart attack. I'm going to add. So I'm just using the things that I think will be sensitive. No, I'm not coming. STEMI, I'm going to add with all, and STEMI means add with all. Means add with all. So this is keywords for concept one. Are we together? Now
Yes,
I'm going to click on search. And guys, see, this is 330,000 papers. You cannot read 330,000 papers. So it's too broad. But I'm not worried. Oh, now I'm going to go back to advanced. What I want you guys to see is to look down here, search history. It has been saved, 300 and this search. So I'm not worried, it's there. Now, if you look down here, you're going to see something called mesh, right? So I'm going to click on mesh. And it's going to come here to this database. So I'm just going to put acute coronary syndrome. Why? Because I want to know how PubMed saves acute coronary syndrome. So I'm going to put it there and then I'm just going to search. Now, when this happens, you see that I have two results, acute coronary syndrome and this one. The best way to go about this is actually where is the merge library again? Guys. Give me a second. I'm trying to look for the merge library. Merge. No. It's not giving me what I want to see. Let's go back. Let's go back. So if I click on this term, I'm just doing this. So now what happens here is that now you see that it has given me acute coronary syndrome as a mesh term, and it has given me all the other subject headings that are under the merge. So generally, at the start, you don't need to bother about anything. You just need to select all of them. And if you come here, you'll see the tree of how acute coronary syndrome is classified. So it comes from all merged categories, disease category, cardiovascular categories, and then myocardial ischemia, and then acute coronary syndrome. So if I think that I'm going to miss something, I might instead come and put the myocardial ischemia in my search. So, but once I've done this, all what I need to do now is to go back to my advanced fields. Oh, this is merge. Go back to my advanced. Take me back to where I came from, sir. Go back to my search, 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 search again. Come back here. And now I'm going to do this. Major subject heading, and I'm going to put acute coronary syndrome. Why? Because I have seen that the database spells acute coronary syndrome, acute coronary syndrome. It doesn't change. So I'm going to do that, and I'm going to add major topic. And the next thing is that I am also going to search it. So it gives me 19,000. So we go back to our advanced. Are you guys with me? So that is concept one. I'm going to merge 1 and 2 with all. So what I'm simply going to do is I'll come here, click add to query. And then I come here, click add to query with all. And then I search all of them. Now pay attention to advanced again. You see that now we have 316,000. So these two have added. So that's it. We have done with concept one. All right, guys, are we together? Quick recap, you always need to check how the database reports the mesh before you bring it to your advanced search. That's the only thing. That's why I had to go right down to the merge library to see how it gives me the merge topic. Are we clear? Now, we move to concept two. Now I'm going to be very fast because we're going to do the same thing. So concept two, I'm just going to take delay time to hospital or. I know that these alls are working. So text field, scroll down, title abstract. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. So time to this is a phrase. Remember what we did. So I'm going to put that in phrases or hospital. And then I'm going to add. And the next thing I'm looking for is synonyms. I'm also going to take all of this. Some of them might not be sensitive, but it's fine. It's not egg, guys, it's late. Okay, late. Or time to treatment, I put that. Like in
Dr.
hospital.
It's a capital letter on consultation.
Yeah, I'm going to adjust it. Thank you very much. Thank you. It shows that you're not sleeping. All right, my keyboard is German, so it's not allowing me to close the bracket. Jesus Christ. Guys, is this not witchcraft? All right, got you. Busted. Nothing for hospitalized or consultations. Music. Somebody's internet has knocked the person out, or the person is going to answer a call. So yeah, so this is what we have, and I'm going to add with an or, and we have that. Now, next, we are going to look for a merge for, I'll just take time to diagnosis because it looks like the most important. I'm going to copy it. I'm going to run this search. And then I'm going to go down to, again, my mesh builder. No search for mesh, sorry. And then I'm going to go, let me use advanced tab and see what it gives me. All fields. So that does not exist in the database. Let me take delay. So we have treatment delay, right? I'm just going to copy treatment delay here and go fast. So this is where it falls. Time to treatment. So there's actually time to treatment. I'm going to use time to treatment. Do you guys
And
actually?
they wrote theirs with some dashes in between.
Yes, I have to take it exactly the way it is. That's why I have to come and search on the database to see how the database is saving that thing. So you see. So I'm going to copy this one. And then we're going to go back to our advanced search. No, guys, take me back to BMC. Oh, guys. I don't know why this thing is. All right. So here we are now. We have this. So I'm just going to add the time to treatment. That's it. And I'm going to take measure subject heading. And I'm going to add it. And I'm also going to run it. Now I'll go back to advanced. And now I need to merge 1 and 2. I mean 4 and 5, right? Because they are talking about concept 2. And I'm going to do that. Add to query with all. And then I'm just going to add to history so that it doesn't take me back and forth. So you see that we have 2,000 articles when we combine these two together, 2,300 and something. Okay. So now I want us to note that number 6 was concept 2, and number 3 was concept 1. So I'm going to merge them. What am I going to merge them with?
And
Good, Sam. So, yeah, I'm going to do and now. And then we're going to run it. So see what happens. So you see now it has reduced to 62,000. So instead of 2 million that we had here and 300K that we had here, combining the two of them has reduced it to 62,000. Now, let's go to concept 3, which is the final one. And we're going to do that quickly. Where's concept 3 again? Complications, right? So I'm just going to do this. Title and abstract. And then I'm going to do this, complicate with an asterisk. You guys understand why I'm using asterisks now? Why am I using asterisks?
To truncate it for complications.
Great. So people are not flipping. I'm happy. Good. Or so this is a phrase I need to put in. It's a phrase I need to put here. And I can put a star here, no? Good. So I'm going to leave it like that. I'm going to add it, and I'm going to add to history. And then we're going to look for complication as a mesh term. So we go back to our mesh builder, and I'm going to type complication trans as a mesh term. So it has a lot, diabetes complication, it's so vague. So vascular angiopathy, post-operative. Let's just take something that is close now. So I'm just going to take complications because it's there as a subheading, right? So I've seen what it is as a subheading. So see how that changes what we do. So if we come back here, I'm going to come here. Instead of using major topic, I'm going to use subheading, merge subheading, because that's what it was. Right, and I'm going to type complications without capital letters. And I'm going to add it, and I'm going to add to history. Now, here's a very big box, but it doesn't matter. So we're going to merge 9 and 8, right?
Okay. Yes.
Yeah,
Oh,
good. And then I'm add to history. Now, so we have 10, which is 4 million, and then we have 7, which is 60. So this is now me combining 2 and 3 and, 1 and 2 and 3, right?
yes, doctor.
Yes, so I'm going to add 7, and then I'm going to add with and
Then
then I'm going to add to history again. So it has reduced it to 37,000, but this is a lot, okay? Normally, what you do now is, first of all, your whole search history is available, right? So you can download it as an Excel sheet. I'm just going to show you guys. It's very important that you're able to see this, because this is what you actually need to put in your manuscript. You have to show all your steps of what you did. So this is it. This is what we did. And then these are the search details, and then you see the papers. You understand? But this is too much. And I understand why it's too much, because we didn't use specific terms. We didn't take time to fine tune it. But again, this is just to show you how the method is. But this is your assignment. All of you need to do this for your topics you're working on, and really get the good words, not the random words that we've designed. You need to go through that thought process. So I'm going to close this guy. And where was I? This is where we were. So now let's look at these results. So what we do is that, right? Generally, you look at the first 100 papers. There's no written rule. You look at the papers that you're capturing, and you see if it's actually getting you things. So this is a very good one: premature acute coronary syndrome, understanding early onset. This is a very good paper. You see, it's capturing acute coronary syndrome. It's working for acute coronary syndrome in hospital cardiac arrest in patients with ST segment elevation, myocardial infarction. But we don't know if it's associated with time to arrival, So this is not a very specific paper. So you look at the first, generally, PubMed has an option that you can view more than 10 papers. Where is it? Display options, yes. How many per page? 200. That's me. So I will go, so that will scroll down endlessly. Now, what I want you guys to see is to look at the dates. You see that paper started from 1948 right up to 2026, and the peak is around 2020, and then it goes down a little bit. So that's why we say it's not good to reduce years. But you can limit it for the last 5 years. So let's take one example, we'll limit it to the last 5 years. The papers will reduce drastically, 9,000. But that's not what we will do with limiting. All we need to do is that we need to really work on our search strategy to fine tune it, but we don't limit by date. I'm just using that just to show you guys, but we don't limit by date. I mean, generally, some people say that if full text is not available, you exclude the paper. You can also do that. That's where people limit. But I mean, generally, you don't. If you're looking only for clinical trials, you click on clinical trials, randomized clinical trial, click on it, but don't specify early. But the idea of you screening is to see how well your thing is doing and seeing if there are other new words that you can see. For instance, higher mortality in acute coronary syndrome without standard modifiable risk factor. Is there anything new here that you think that you can add to your search that will improve on the search strategy? Now, there is one other trick that I have to show you guys. So what you do, right? What I do at times is that from this, I can download. Let's take these three people. No, this one is not very related. Acute coronary syndrome in women. Arrhythmias after acute myocardial infarction. Anyways, I'm not really seeing SSN. Why? Oh, she premature. Yes, this one is okay. Distress among hospitalized patients. That's distress. It's not talking about time. So I see that we are still yet to find a paper that really talks about time to arrival, late presentation. This one makes a little bit of sense. So what I'm going to do here is that I'm going to I don't want to send to my email. I'm going to save these three papers. And generally what I do is that you can save, I want to save only their PubMed ID. Create file. So it has come to my computer now. So I have their PubMed ID. There is a database, there's another website called Yale Mesh Analyzer. So I have these PubMed IDs here. You guys cannot see, but I'm going to copy it. Just trust me. So I can paste, you see, say paste up to 20. So I'm going to paste these three and then go. So what this does is that it's going to give me an idea of other mesh topics on the papers that were most sensitive to my search. And now I can add this to my search. Like, okay, I can add arrhythmias, cardiac etiology, acute coronary syndrome, you see. And then I look down again, you see myocardial infarction was a big thing, complication. Yeah, this one was working, right? This way, and then again, end-stage, right? Risk factors. Treatment outcome was also there, but not time to treatment. This one had time to treatment. So it's very sensitive. So I'm looking at, okay, what other words are related with time to treatment, things like that. So that's how now I would say time to treatment is a good word, but I need to find other words. I mean, the keywords, we already have them. Immortal time bias. I mean, late comma is a good one to put in your word, So these are keywords that these guys use, late comma. This one is really unique. That is something that I can add to the search under time to treatment. Instead of saying time to treatment, I can put late comma. And that's how I'll come here and say, where was time to treatment? It was concept how many? This one, right?
Concept so
Good. Yeah. So I'm going to put that here, late comma. So this is how you do it. And then you're able to increase the number of synonyms, keywords, but you need to brainstorm about it. So, all right. That's it. Let's do an overview of what we've done so far. So what we've done so far is that we started by we took this topic we created the concept blocks. So we had concept 1, 2, and 3. For each concept block, we created keywords for the concept block and synonyms for the concept block. And then we moved to adding merge terms. Once we did this, we understood that we needed to merge concept by concept with and. And then we spoke again about other operators. Now we've done this on our rough sheet. Now we came back to one of the common databases that everybody uses, which is PubMed. And we ran our search the same way we built the concept. So we started from, okay, concept 1 keywords, we did that. Concept 1 merge terms, and then we combined both of them with an or. And then we went for the time to delay and their keywords, and then we combined both with an or. And then we merged both this and this with an and, which reduced the number of papers that we wanted. And then we also now went further for the next one. Okay, the next one, and then we merged both with an or, and then we combined it again, and then we had now this number of papers that we have. And these ones are happening because we limited the search to 5 years. It went down, and then we redo it, and then we went back. But this is your search strategy. So this is what now downloaded. We have seen it as an Excel form, and this is what you share and add to your manuscript. So that's it. That's what we've done. And I want to show you guys something in the proposal that I gave you guys to look at as a draft. My name is Bill. Yes. Session. Good. So this is a draft proposal. No, this is not a proposal. This is not a proposal. Where is the draft proposal I sent? Good. So this is what I shared with you guys. And if we scroll right down, you would see how I documented the search strategies for these ones. So these are the databases that I searched. And so you can see that on Medline, you see a similar thing that I did with all of those things that I just taught you people. This is synonyms. No, these are merged terms. And then these are synonyms with all the truncations that you can think of. And then you see I merge all of them with or. And you come with the electronic health records again. And then I merge all of them with or. And then I come with Sub-Saharan Africa, all the African countries, I merge them all, and then I combine these 3 people with an and it gave me 361 articles. But you see how detailed the search was, right? And if we scroll somewhere into the methods of the paper, you would see where I elaborated how I am going to do my search string. So I'm going to look for synonyms of health records, including their acronyms. And so this is one concept, and this is this, and Sub-Saharan Africa. And you see, it was up to 2025, and again with English and French. Yes, I know small French. So that's it. So I'm just showing you guys how this is live. So this is a guide that I want you guys, it's my proposal, right? So you guys can use it by the book and apply the methods. I'm very confident of the methods, and you can see how the search is conducted. So that's it. And yeah, so let's come back to class. How many people are still there? I'm sorry, I ran wild on this one. Are we having fun? So, all right, guys, I know you guys have to go and eat and sleep and talk to your girlfriends and boyfriends. But let's see. So, generally at this point, I've already spoken about this, but the idea is that you always need to make sure you merge both text and merge terms. Make sure that you're not missing any synonyms or spellings. Make sure that your concept is not so narrow. Think if you need to include outcomes or not. At times, outcomes also limits it. And even a comparator, you can see from what we said, we don't need to put time. We can just leave it open and capture all the articles and then make sure that you don't take notes. So these are things that you should need always to think always. Yeah. So generally at this point, I wanted us to practice in pairs and do things, but we're not going to do that today. You guys are is going to carry it on as an assignment since we are way over time. But I'll stop here and ask, did we enjoy this session? Do we have any questions, any challenges, any worries?
Doctor, the session was actually interesting. I feel like this where most of the heavy work is done, not only intellectually, but also about the quality of the article you want to finally publish. I think this is where most of the heavy lifting is done. And it was interesting personally for me because I've always looked for a way. I used to go and search. Now, when I see the way I used to search PubMed now, it's so funny how I knew nothing. But now like that, it's really for me it was it was my most interesting session. I think from here on, refining my idea will come out better because I was looking for papers and trying to see what has been done, and I did not have that hand on these different databases. But now I've seen how it works, and I think I can do better at refining my idea. So for me, it was personally an interesting session, my most interesting session. I never noticed the time go. I enjoyed the session.
Good. Nice music to my ears. Who else wants to share?
Doctor, I don't know if they can get me, doctor.
I can get you 505.
Doctor, it's just that my internet is quite unstable. But actually, I have two questions. I don't know if I'm permitted to ask.
Go for it.
Doctor, in when you search in the mesh database, looking for how the PubMed had registered delivery time
Mm-hmm.
and sorry, delay time, something like that. Then
Mm-hmm.
I saw that in that hierarchy there was a treatment delay, and on top of treatment delay, we actually had time to treatment.
Yes.
So I wanted to ask, if you choose a mesh word that is above that treatment delay in that hierarchy, will
Yeah.
it alter the number of articles?
So it alters the number of articles in the sense that when it's above, it includes everything below it. But if it's below, it will not take anything above it. You get the point? So that's why I moved upwards
Yes.
instead of moving downwards. Because I mean, I don't know what other articles will be included what other articles I will miss. I mean, I don't know what I don't know. That's the thinking. You don't know what you don't know, but you need to make sure that what you don't know is limited. Does that
Okay,
make sense?
doctor.
Yeah. So in the merge terms, you always
Yes,
want to
doctor.
pick the person
Then
above the tree.
okay, doctor.
Mhm.
Thank you, doctor. Then my second question was based on the Cochrane handbook that you sent that we should read. I don't know.
Mhm.
There's something I did not understand there. How will you know? When do you stop searching for articles?
No, once you submit your proposal and you do your search on that day, that's fine, right? You download the articles and continue. Now, if
Okay,
you
doctor.
so I have a scoping review I published. I think you guys should read the article I'll share with you guys. Um, but what I did was that once I submitted to the journal took like 6 months to review. And when they came back, they said I should refresh the search and see if I'll capture new articles. So I needed to do that again. So you see that documenting the search is very important because I just went back and used the same search and retrieved, I think I saw 2 new articles. And that was it. But to see those 2 new articles, I had to read again for over like 500 papers myself. So when you stop
Okay,
search, the day that you do your, so when once we are once we are clear that you have an optimal number of papers that you can capture from your search strategy, you search on that day, and then you stop, and then you review the capture that you have. Okay, generally, I mean, I always say that let's try to make sure that your papers that you capture in the end to review do not go above 2,000, because that's feasible, that's doable with 2 people. So that's why we keep fine-tuning. We fine-tune your search terms to get you the good number of optimal papers. And you'll see it once you look at the papers coming out from PubMed. You see, once you know that you are hitting, you actually see that, oh, these papers are all aligned with what I'm looking for. But like you see that the search we did was not very adequate, because we had to search down before we could see 1 or 2 or 3 papers that were good for us. So it means that we still need to refine this search on this topic that we did.
Okay, doctor. Then last,
Yeah.
doctor, I wanted to know, how will you know that an article is not is fraudulent or has errors?
No, it's okay. We have a lecture on bias, on how to assess for quality. That's part of your lecture. So you see it when you come.
Okay, doctor.
For now, we want to
Okay,
first of all
doctor.
capture the
Thank you,
paper.
doctor.
Yeah, nice. You're welcome, sir. Prof. Afai. Any other worries? So
Yeah, yes,
yeah.
doctor. Actually,
No.
um, I equally enjoyed the lesson. I agree with Agbo. The lesson was really interesting. But I have a question and more of a misunderstanding. One question, one misunderstanding. My question is to know when we made the 3 concepts and we drafted out the keywords and their synonyms. I saw that when we entered PubMed, we were looking for the mesh terms of just one word. I would like to look for the mesh term of just one synonym, or what look for the mesh term of every single synonym we have and try to refine our search.
No, so it's you're not looking for mesh terms of synonym, you're looking for mesh terms of keywords. So we had just acute coronary syndrome, right? I could still look for a mesh term of myocardial infarction. But already, when you look at the hierarchy, once you do acute coronary syndrome, myocardial infarction is on that. So you don't need to add again or myocardial infarction, because you're repeating yourself. So that's why in the search, we actually looked at the tree to see if what we use will capture every other thing under, and it relates to Afai's question, which is, do you go under or above? Again, these words are all related. Don't tie yourself to the word, tie yourself to how the words have been engraved in the database. Okay, how have they been uploaded in the database? So if you're looking at acute coronary syndrome and myocardial infarction, or myocardial infarction, and you go to the database and say, oh, hey, the mesh term for acute coronary syndrome already includes myocardial infarction. So there's no need for me to search for the mesh term of myocardial infarction again. You get the point. So you cancel that. But if you're looking for acute coronary syndrome and, let's say, cerebrovascular accidents, those are 2 different words. I think databases do not have them, though. But if I go one step other, if I go and say cardio, I go to and say cardiovascular events, it's above, those 2 words will be under them. So I will instead prefer to take a merge term that says cardiovascular events as one, and put it, instead of taking cerebrovascular accident, which is going to take stroke, and then acute coronary syndrome, which is going to take a heart attack, and the rest, and bring them together. You see, that's the logic. So it's to think, and you only know that if you put it on the database and you look at the tree. No guesswork. You don't go there, you just go there and look at how it's organized. Did I answer your question, Brian?
Yes, you did, doctor. Thank you very much. Then, for I'll just like to get clarification. That means when we have done our research, we have searched the articles, we should give priority. Priority is given to the articles which are most recent, like the case of which you had to search on more articles from the publication you made. You had to search on more like recent articles. That means
No, no, no,
priority
no,
is to be given to publications which
no,
are
no, no.
recent.
No. You search for recent articles when you are writing your background, when you're writing your story of why your research is important, because that's like a recent work done. But when you're doing your systematic review, you don't care about dates. That's why in the lesson, I was very clear that don't limit your search to dates. Let's start from when the database was created in 1948 to present day and get all the papers. The most important thing that your limits in that you're using to fine tune is the synonyms, the merge terms, the synonyms, the merge terms, and how you truncate. Those are the things you play with.
Okay, doctor, thank you.
Any other questions? Any other worries? Good. So we'll continue next week from where we ended. I'm going to show you guys just a prelude of what we're going to do next week. So I'll need you guys to work on your topics and try to do the search. It doesn't have to be accurate, but this is learning by doing. Do the search and please share those. Take a screenshot of it as a picture and drop it on WhatsApp. And then we are going to critique it on WhatsApp on the go once you have done it. And the goal is to see this peer review. I'm going to copy this. I'm going to copy this slide and put on WhatsApp as well. This is how we are going to critique everybody's search strategy. If you don't have a topic, pick one of the topics already on the research questions that I've given. Pick one already and let's start working. There must be one there that interests you. There are 45. So that's what we're going to do. And then when you come next week, we're going to start here. I'm going to talk about documentation. I'm going to talk how to organize your work. And then I'm also going to tell you about using Zotero to document. So we're going to have a demo on Zotero. Before the week, I'm also going to send you a link to watch a tutorial on it. It's very easy, but that's what we'll be using to store our things. And then I'm also going to walk you through now how to, but depending on how well we progress next week, I'll see if I need to tell you guys how to do the screening. But that's the next thing that we need to do, show you guys how to do the screening. But again, all of this has to go in progression with the work you're doing. If the lectures are way advanced and than what you're doing, know that you're just attending the lectures for information and then you apply it when you get to that stage. But feel free to use the examples in class to learn. So that's it. But now I'm going to update this assignment because we did not get here. So, but the main thing is that everybody is going to run a PubMed search, but not 3 databases, just a PubMed search on the topic that they are passionate about. And yeah, that's it. And I'm going to talk about documentation, but already I can highlight this. Please let your documents have names and things. It's very important. It's very important. I'm going to actually do this, have a voice note and send this slide on WhatsApp. It's very important that you document your things so that each day that you're working, there's a new thing. And when you're sending things to me, you guys are 8 of you. So I need to know that from the name of the document, that this document is coming from Bryant, it's coming from Agbo, it's coming from Afayi. I need to know. It should be there. It should be really clear that this is coming from this person and it should be dated. So that if I see that you send this document to me on the 31st and it's already the 15th of February and I've not replied to you, then that means I'm late, right? So that's unconscious. That's how you communicate to people. You send the document, the title, and where it's coming from, and then the date that you send the document. Already, if the person sees that this is more than a week, the person will feel guilty. That's how I do it. And then again, another way you can put your role. You can put it there, like, it's clear, but I know all of you guys, but if you're doing it somewhere else and nobody knows you want to specify who you are, right? Search strategy, Sintieh, Agbo, mentee, things like that. It's just documentation, guys. That's what it's very important. But we're going to talk about this more next week. Next, recommended sources. You guys have all of this in your timetable. I'm going to add it. But so like by Tuesday, guys, try to run a search so that we can discuss it in the forum by latest Thursdays before we meet in class. Let's discuss that more. You guys already know that we have services that we are offering, but what is new that I want you guys to know is that we have courses from the University of Washington that we used to do. We've been doing this for 5 years now. So I'm going to encourage you guys to share it with your line of doctors, let them benefit. What I think is most important for any of you guys, but you guys are already charged, so I'll not recommend anything. But we do this every year, so you can welcome to come to take it when your schedule is free, but it's not free. You can see there's a small fee there that you pay. How we do it is that people come together in our sites, and instead of paying $200, they pay 50 US dollars because they are doing it as a site. So that's what we do. I mean, you must have received messages already from Mildred on how to share it, but please share it with your group, with your friends. Help us help other people get certification. But it's not free like what you guys are going through. That said, again, summary, sources, strategy, documentation, but I'm not touching guys documentation and reference, so I've done just these two. Yeah. So next session, just do your search and then we see it on WhatsApp, and then I'm going to teach you guys how to deduplicate and how to use the reference software to do the next things. But that's it. Thank you all very much for your kind attention. This has been running for 122 minutes. That's when I started the presentation. So you guys have done well. Congratulations for making it to the end.
Thank you, Doctor, for your time and patience with explanation, particularly.
No, thank you guys. I hope that by the end of the year, I'll have some of you guys render this lecture because you would have done it and done it. And then I'll just be reading your papers and correcting. But that's it. I have 4 people standing. Congratulations, guys. It feels like a male dominance, but we are going to take our end of course selfie. And you guys can go and eat and talk to your girlfriends.
For those who have.
Why always the precision about talking to a girl and boyfriends?
It's very important. It's very important for your mental health and your productivity. You
No,
need to,
Doc, we don't have time for that. That's the point. We don't have time.
you don't have that.
Oh, when we have